All right, today's video is not going to be as long as yesterday was. I kind of just want to briefly talk about support and resistance and talk about examples of support and resistance, and we'll do it real time so we can see real live markets. We'll do it on a couple different ones, and then I'll just leave this video at that. So we're going to talk about our support and resistance. So if y'all remember from yesterday, you got a level support, a level resistance, and that's from, again, the candles consolidating in the area. It's neither up or down. It's not making new highs, new lows. It's not making new lows and lower highs. It's not doing that. It's simply just kind of showing you an area in which these key levels are important. You know, like I said, up here you got your sellers, down here you got your buyers. Okay, so let's go over to the chart, and then we'll kind of talk about a few levels of support and resistance and how you can identify them because they're in front of your face and right here. So, for example, here, maybe we could really do like okay. And this is actually a good example of what I mean by resistance turns into support and support turns into resistance. Um, so one second, sorry. So you can see this area right here. This area, if we look like over here, this level right here is the area of support. But if you look down here prior, this area almost acted like a level of resistance before this 4 hour broke above it, and then it started treating it as support because it broke here, came up, hit resistance, went down, and now this is support. This resistance is now support. Where before it was resistance. The stock came up here, they were having trouble, they brought it down, and then they pushed it back up once fully breaking above that. And what I mean by fully is this candle, we don't have no wicks. You see how this just wicked above it? This actually broke the whole body, broke that level, which then for after that, this candle didn't really have volume. And then from there, boom. Now that gives us a zone, an area in which we don't trade in this area. We just kind of wait and look. Now we got our levels. How do I know that's our level? Because again, the stock came up, had a hard time. Okay, I chart out that level. Then it broke above that level, and then it came to this level. All right, I'm gonna mark out that level, and then it didn't continue to go higher. So I know that this level is an important level. It's where the sellers are at. The sellers then pushed the stock down to what level? What used to be resistance. What used to be resistance. They pushed it down, now showing me that what resistance is now support. So this is actually a perfect example of kind of what I was talking about yesterday, how resistance is concerned is support and support is resistance. That's literally all this is. That's all this is. I can do this for many, many, many. And then you can take this area because now we know that this is a zone, even though it broke out of this area, even though it broke out of this area right here, push for higher. So now we chart out, let me see, we'll chart out a new level of support. So let's start again from where we started and just follow along with me, please. I'm trying to keep it simple. Um, I just want you to understand support and resistance. What all the market structure we're talking about and this, that, and the third. Just understand support and resistance, these zones that you've seen me drawing these lines in. This is the exact same thing. It's just obviously it looks a little different because these up and downs aren't the same as what I was drawing. Cool, right? So you got a push from previous, you feel me, level of support, which then showed us our resistance. After breaking said resistance, it pushed above, showing us a new resistance. Now, that resistance pushed the stock back down to the level that was the previous resistance, which is now support. Okay. And then it did the same thing. It came back down, retested that, giving me more confirmation that this is support and I can trust this level more than a lot of other levels in this specific trade, in this moment, in these timeframes, right? So now it came back down, and then what did it do? You can technically say that this area right here is another retest of that support, even though you see the wicks didn't like fully come up, they just kind of are like right here, they're not really. But then you have this big engulfing candle pushing up, showing us our new level of what? Resistance. So what does that make our old resistance? Support. So now if we come, it even broke resistance and use this as minor. I wouldn't trade this. Maybe you could have traded this on a smaller time frame. If we're trading this on an hourly, cool. Once it did this, it showed you, and then what happened? It came right back down to where it blew up right here. Came right back down to that level, tested it. Remember, we care more so about the bodies. We don't really care about the wicks like that. We do. The wicks are um, signs and signals, but they're not end all be all. The bodies are more confidential. And then again, we see the same thing. That level where it blew up at and went to is now the resistance. Came here. Let's see. Then boom, what happened? Disrespected support, disrespected our other support. And so again, I'll just leave it there. That's an example of support and resistance. When when we come and look at these charts and look at these stocks, here, I'll take another stock for an example. Let's go to Tesla. Just so I'm switching it up, and y'all can see that you can do this with anything. It's just marking high and low points. That's all I'm doing. Boom. That's enough for now. So what am I really looking for? I mean, we can almost extend this line over because this is a better indication than this wick. Like I said, we don't really care about this wick. We do, but these bodies right here are more important than this wick. This is just order filling to go lower. This was smart money pushing the stock up to then get a better entry to go lower. Okay, so what do we see here? We see, and again, we can break this down here. Let's actually break this down a little more in depth. Let's go back a little bit back to market structure and um, the whole 9 yards. What do I see? You have a lower high right here. This right here actually, this right here, we can maybe technically say like, hey, that's a higher low, but I'm not gonna really go for that. I'm more so again when we're looking at the bigger time frame, I would kind of maybe be more convinced if I didn't have all of this here to like prove that wrong. So if I was just trading in the moment and I just seen like this candle right here, this candle right here, then I might have been convinced like, oh, okay, but then you gotta wait. This candle would make me believe that this was nothing but price action. This was just, yeah, just leave it there. That was price action a little bit. I just did this with a naked chart. So you ask me, okay, cool. What is that? What does that do for me? Now this gives you confidence, right? So this can almost right here, this can almost be smart money trying to push the stock lower. So this can possibly be smart money buying up here, taking shorts, and waiting to push the stock below this level, which would then make a lower low. Okay. Over here in these examples, we can kind of see that's what smart money has been doing. And that's always what smart money does. But these wicks are just better price action by smart money, better price action by smart money. And then I think I'll leave it there. I think we'll get into more examples. Maybe I'll do one more. See, this is where you got to be careful because it made a lower low. But technically, we never really made a lower low off of where the actual like trend became or started, I should say. We never really made a lower high. We came, tested it. This would be my level that I'm really looking for. Let me chart this real quick. It's like 228 right here, or this 2028. This would be the level. But then from there, um, once broken here, this is a good entry because there's never no true, like if we break it down to like the hour time frame and go back to that same one, this would be a good entry. And this was hard because again, yeah, this was an earnings play. But if you were betting on a swing means that you're placing a contract or you're buying a contract that expires farther out. So you're kind of swinging that trade for later dates. If you would have did a swing here and this was your entry for market close, you would have been eating. I'm gonna leave it here. This was a lot to digest. But I'm gonna keep going like this. I hope that y'all understand and don't be afraid to ask questions. Also, I'm just gonna keep dropping this. So if you don't know, just keep watching the videos and as everything you will slowly start to understand, it will become muscle memory. Again, we learned how to count because we kept getting taught 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is a muscle memory thing. So now when you look at the charts, you don't have to do all of this. You could see this and be like, okay, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Like you can already tell. So don't get overwhelmed. If there's something you want to do, stick to it. I'm gonna keep dropping videos every day.